Thanks a lot to the organizers for inviting me to come give a talk here. As already said by the chair, I'm Xola Ndaliso. I'm a PhD student at VETS and also working at the SAO for SALT. I mean, at hindsight, I probably should have changed the title of my talk to something like from not knowing the difference between NSFAS and cerebral bursary to operating SALT. So I thought I should just give a brief overview or a brief outline of my talk, where I come from, etc. During NASSP, with experience and all the cool things that happened there, and then after NASSP, operating SALT and a PhD at VETS. So I come from a very small but really nice town. It's along on the N2, on your way from East London towards Mthatha, so that's my town there. And my village is just like a few clicks away from town, so it's the first village as you travel towards Willow Vale, and that's my home there. That's my home there, and that's the school I went to from lower grades up until grade 9, and then I attended my high school in town. There's a school just sitting on the periphery of town there. So this village is sort of like in a hill, and you sort of walk up. So my home is, I don't know why my parents put it there, because it's sort of one of the last houses, and I have to walk to school, you know, and sort of go uphill. But yeah, so joined UWC in 2015 for a BSc in physics, and I've put the plan there in question marks, because the plan really of coming from Duke and doing a BSc physics was to teach. You know, I had this teacher in grade 12 that really inspired me when teaching physics, and I thought to myself that I can actually come back and challenge her and can really produce good students in science, right? And this comes after I've been talking with these guys, so that's me there, second last, and these guys really had bigger dreams. Geology, civil engineer, quantity surveying, and I'd come with education, and we're sort of like the top students, kinda, in physics and maths. And they'd ask questions like, then why are you even starting with us if you want to do education? No, why can't you why can't you think of something else? And yeah, so I had to think deep, and I figured, okay, BSc Physics is probably what I want to do, and go to UWC, do your 3 years, come back and teach with your previous teacher and really produce good students. And get accepted at UWC around March. I'm sitting in there. I wasn't a notice student, so I wasn't sitting at the back. I'm sitting somewhere in the middle, and there's this guy that just walks in. Is wearing, I noticed was wearing a black ulster and carrying some pamphlets, and he comes and talks. He needs 4 students for this SK bursary, and we were 90 students in first year, and I'm looking and coming from Duke, I'm like, there's no way that I'm one of the 4 students here, so I'm not even gonna bother apply. So I took the pamphlet, and it started forming part of the, you know, I've got like shrunken papers at the bottom of my bag. Yeah, so it became part of that. And then the short story behind this is, a few days later, I get an email from someone else, and this someone else is wrong. Oh, the guy in a black ulster is Mario Santos, by the way. And then I get an email from Roy Martins saying, why didn't you apply? And you're one of the top students. And with my broken English, I tried to answer this email. I said to him, you know, I didn't think that. And by the time I had NSFAS already, right? NSFAS has bought me a computer. I'm getting the Pick and Pay cards. I don't need this SK thing. No, I don't need this SK thing. So who's this Roy by then? And so it's like, okay, look, come to my office. Give me his office number at 12, and I'm like, okay, I'll see you tomorrow. And I wake up in the morning. And I'm thinking to myself, there's hundreds of students at UWC. There's no way this guy's going to find me. I'm not going to his office, right? I'm sorted. I don't go. And then I go back to Res, check my emails again. This guy's like, I waited for you, didn't come. Please come tomorrow again. Like, okay, let me give this guy a chance, right? And I go to his office, and yeah, like, dude, you're literally one of the top students, because they had our marks in the physics department, and he started explaining the bursary. So I think at that time you had to submit, you just had to submit a copy of your results and a motivational letter why you think you're the best student. And I had a cousin at Reyes that was doing BCom General, so immediately after I went to her, and I'm like, hey sister, I've been getting these emails, you know, and he's like, what the hell? Like, NSFAS is not a bursary. Why didn't you not tell me about this? You know, he started drafting the email, the motivational letter, sent it. I remember it said, "Dear Mr. Roy." I say, "Dear Mr. Roy, here's the motivational letter and a copy of my results." And yeah, cutting the long story short, got the bursary. I think that's when I made my first bank account. Yeah. And at some point started getting the first stipend. I couldn't believe it, because I remember I walked from Reyes and I went to the ATMs. I just wanted to test. I withdraw 50 Rand. Okay, this is real, you know. Yeah, and then, yeah, so joined NASSP in 2018, and yeah, I think we were about 25 students actually. We are biggest class in NASSP. And because of UWC and UCT had some agreement, for a couple of reasons, I stayed at UWC Reyes and traveled every morning. And every time at the bus, I think 2 times I met earlier, but at the bus station, like, you're staying here, but you're traveling to UT. It's a bad idea, you know. You're not gonna make it. There's courses like EM and what have I put myself into, you know? And Ed also wasn't super open to the idea of this thing of me and Junaid staying that side and traveling. But that was the daily routine. We take a taxi, me and Junaid, every time 5:20 we get to UCT at 7, and you just walk straight to the R.W. James building, have your coffee, and we didn't really have time, I mean, for taking selfies, which I really like. So it's either you debugging your broken code for the CM course, or you're looking at the EM tutorial, you're trying to finish up preparation for classes and other things. I think one thing I probably forgot to mention from a previous slide is the overwhelming support we got from the UWC, people like Dr. Siambonga Machaule, Mario Santos, Roy Martins, Sianda Matika, and Sibonelo Ngabese, in terms of mentorship and guiding us and stuff like that. Yeah, that was really... and then the hardships and sort of like funny moments at NASSP. So you take a taxi one morning, and then these guys are driving, and maybe 3 of you in the taxi, and because it's like a 2-way, so that side is going to Belleville, and they see a lot of people standing on the other side that are going, they just drop you in the middle of nowhere and say, they make a U-turn to take the people going, and you're stuck, they give you a 20 Rand, like, get another taxi, you know. Yeah, and then there's the CM test. I think 90% of the class failed this test, and we're sitting on the bus with Junaid, because Ed was the lecturer of this course the previous year, right? And we're thinking, damn, are we losing the bursary, bro? Because if this guy sends Ed our results, then, you know, we messed, and, you know, so yeah, we would stress about these things, and doing some GR in the past to UWC. I had my computer crashing while I was writing my honors mini thesis, and thanks to Chief, gave me like this really small one. It was really slow, but it did the job. I submitted. Thanks a lot, Chief. Yeah, and other many kind of things. I think these are the only 2 times I took a selfie at UCT. This is the last day when we had just given honors presentations. I think that was the whole class, and you can see Professor Applied sit at the back there. And that day we were sort of let off the hook because the UKZN node had visited us. So that's me, that's Mzi in the middle. So we went with Mzi at UWC for 3 years, and he joined the UKZN node for his honors. And that's Junaid, who've been together since day one. Yeah, and then after NASSP, I took a research with Prof. Ed LC at UWC after the coursework, master's coursework, which was intense. Was modeling dynamics of nearby interacting galaxy pair NGC 1512, 1510. And then after that, I got this junior data extractor intern position with, I think this is a project between Sareyo and Sansa where you were extracting data from satellites. but that was for 3 months. And thereafter, I got the salt operator position, which was sort of like dual position of for operating and developing software for the telescope. At Salt, work as a salt operator and also developing dashboards. So these dashboards sort of falling into the category of telescope efficiency, trying to understand how has the telescope been doing since compared to now, and looking at things like pointing. And these they really offer good insights to engineers and technical people that are busy with improving the telescope. I think I was the first SO to observe with NIR, right? Yes. Yeah, that's me. So one morning I'm operating salt control room, and I can see one segment is getting rogue, and I call standby, so I can't get the other standby, and I had to call the other one. So you every night you get 2 guys on standby, and he comes there, and we can't get a second guy to help him. And I say, okay, because this segment needs to be masked. And so he's like, you're not qualified to be here, right? I'm actually not supposed to be showing this picture. Sorry, Nkani. You're not supposed to be here, you know. And I promise you, I'm not gonna do anything stupid. I'm gonna put my belts. I wanna help you, you know. I know you're not supposed to touch the mirror. It's very sensitive, I know. Of which I did something. So I took a picture of me in the mirror. Yeah. So that's at 3 a.m. Yeah, I really have fond memories at Salt. I remember one time Jono took me up on the Seekers Tower. If you know, the Seekers Tower is the tower that we use for lining the mirror. He took me, and oh man. So Jono is so fast because there's a ladder inside that thing, and he's just flying through, and I'm just behind him. You know, I'm like, yeah. So, and I think I also got the opportunity to observe with my dad at some point. Yeah, that's me explaining to him how's the mirror supposed to be. Look, mirror supposed to be spherical, and yeah, 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 and then busy with my research with Professor Roger Dean at VETS Center for Astrophysics, where I'm studying how is the cluster environment affecting the individual galaxies in Able 3408. So that's just like an intensity map of the cluster showing meerkat detections, 64 detections in this cluster. And we sort of doing all sort of things, trying to understand what's going on, modeling galaxy dynamics of the individual galaxies and looking at asymmetries, H1 deficiencies, etc. And yeah, NASSP program was hard work, but it's really taught me a lot. Probably want to thank from the people that would get the coffee ready from the morning up to the admin, or you know, it was yeah. I've got really fond memories of my time at NASSP, and it's probably one of the best experiences. And if it's taught me one thing, it's getting things done no matter what. And I'm really grateful to have been part of this. Yeah, so that's a picture of me and Junaid and Dr. Gonana, who's also been really helpful in my journey. So we just graduated for honors. I'm scoring cum laudes, and we're really excited, but probably didn't know what we're putting ourselves into. I mean, with the master's coursework, and yeah, but thanks a lot. Yeah.